Hello, community. Let's talk about Ant-Man by Peyton Reed. Ant-Man has always been one of the most obscure characters in the Marvel Universe. Most people don't really know his story, but let's just say that Hank Pym was the first Ant-Man, and then he was replaced by Scott Lang, who died and then was replaced by Eric O'Grady, who also died and then was replaced by a resurrected Scott. Yeah, it's pretty complicated. But let's just say that the protagonist of this story is Scott Lang. And this is an interesting story. In 1987, Hank Pym created the Pym particles, which allowed him to become Ant-Man. But he stopped being Ant-Man after his wife, Janet Van Dyne, apparently died. I say apparently because she was a wasp, just like in the comics, but she became so small that she apparently disappeared. The cool part about this is that Haley Oswald appeared as Agent Carter, Howard Stark too. I really like the connection between the different Marvel movies, series, and everything like that. It makes for a very cohesive universe. But in present time, Scott Lang has been released from jail because he committed a crime, but it was a crime, but he did it because he wanted to help others. So yeah, he's a criminal with a hero code. He's played by Paul Reed. Reed does a decent job. He's funny enough. He certainly has that every man feel that Scott Lang should have. He's solid. He's not spectacular, but he does a good job. And speaking of the humor, it's good enough. Some of the jokes don't really work. Some of them are a bit awkward, to be honest. But some of them make me laugh. This is not as funny as Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's still okay. It's still okay. And it turns out that Scott has been manipulated by Hank because he wanted him to drop his Ant-Man costume and become the new Ant-Man. Because one of the villains, and I'm pretty clear here, he's a pretty obvious villain, Darren Cross. Darren Cross is also a character from the comics. He was actually one of Scott's enemies, but in the comics he had a different set of powers. He was super strong, kind of a monster. But here, he's basically the new Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket was yet another identity of Hank Pym. And speaking of Hank Pym, he's played by Michael Douglas. Yeah, Michael Douglas is a great actor. He gives Hank Pym a lot of personality and a really strong presence. Yeah. You immediately feel a lot of respect for the character and for the actor too, obviously. He has a daughter, Hope Van Dyne, who is played by Evangeline Lilly. And once again, she does a solid job, no complaints. The character itself is also solid. And here is where Hank starts training Scott to become the new Ant-Man. And yeah, Scott obviously does a lot of mistakes. because this is a superhero movie, it follows that superhero formula. Oh, one of the funniest characters here is Michael Peña as Luis. Um, I'm going to say this, he's a likable character. I mean, he makes you laugh. He has a pretty optimistic view of life. But it might be because I'm Hispanic myself, but he's pretty much a stereotype. Yeah. A stereotype of Hispanic people. But I'm not offended or anything, but it seems that way. Speaking of the villain, Darren Cross is pretty one-dimensional. Yeah. He doesn't have a lot of depth. You can immediately see that he's a terrible human being. Really, I wish he was more complex. He has an okay personality, but really, it's pretty simplistic. The worst part about this is that Hope at one point says that Darren is not like this. He was affected by the pink particles because he was using them. It doesn't work because we didn't even know who he was before he used the pink particles, so this kind of backstory doesn't really work. I can empathize with him. Yeah, it's impossible. About the story, it's solid enough. It's not epic in scale, but once again, for the character, I would say that it's a good fit. In terms of the scope, it's pretty small, and once again, it's pretty fitting. And I like the relationship between Scott and his daughter, Cassie. But it's nothing spectacular really. Cassie is too good to be true child. Yeah. And the end, Scott I believe ends up beating Darren. But once again, since Darren doesn't really have a personality, it's not that much of a victory. I'm going to say this, I would have preferred if Hampin was the villain here, because Michael Douglas has a lot of personality. He has a more interesting background. Yeah. If he would have been explored more of as a villain, this would have been better. In terms of effects, this is pretty good. Yeah. The battles are well choreographed. Yeah. The effects when the character becomes small is also really good. But yeah, I feel like this could have been better. At least in terms of story and characterization. And also, the romance between Scott and Hope was pretty forced at the end. Yeah. I didn't need to see that. They were okay characters as themselves. Yeah. So overall, I would say that this is a solid movie, but it's not one of the best. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I would say that it's okay, just okay. So, if you want to see yet another superhero movie, I guess you could do worse.